Good morning. It's Geneva. It is June 1st, and it is time to start recording and sharing. So, today's topic will be story. I recorded for a long time to help process some of the things I was going through, but also to help learn how to teach others how to do this process as your spirit asks you to start healing. When we heal, we are moving to a new type of healing that is root cause based. And one of the things that I have been working on healing for my soul to remove and regain all of the healing from my ancestral line and to be able to teach you guys how to then process your traumas in your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies has been how to get to a focus of root cause. So this morning, about 3 days a week, I go running in the summertime. It is kind of a lengthy process to try to breathe for me. So that's kind of one of the stories I've been working on for the last 3 years is it became aware to me as I was having symptoms of COPD that I must heal my airway and my breathing. Now, in my lifetime, in my youth, I probably broke my nose before I was 25, probably 3 or 4 times. So I do have a collapsed septum on the left side. And when I was younger, when I would wake up in the morning, it looked like somebody had wrung my neck, and just the skin here was very red, and it looked like finger marks sometimes. And I know my parents probably thought somebody was choking me in my sleep, and that's what it felt like. And about 3 years ago, I went to a naturopathic dentist, and before he even looked in my mouth, he looked at my posture and he said, "My dear, you are tongue-tied." And I said, "I don't know what that means." To me, tongue-tied was something when you cannot speak. And so I thought that was interesting. And my daughter also went, and she has a minor tongue tie. So I started working on that story. Now, at the time, I had fluid in my legs that was not leaving after I'd had Gabriel, pitting and pulling, pretty much from my hip down to my toes, and severe fatigue. And I was still working, and it was all okay. But I'd had insomnia since as long as I can remember, since I was 8 years old. And it was my insomnia that led to a lot of psychosis in my early years, because I would go 7 days with literally no sleep. And so starting to recognize that because I was never checked, we grew up poor, we didn't really go to the dentist unless like a tooth fell out. So, and I have terrible dental anxiety still. I feel like I need a doula for the dentist. And it never occurred to me that maybe there was nothing wrong with me, that many of these times where I wouldn't sleep and I just couldn't think straight, that maybe I didn't need medication, maybe I need to fix the problem. And I've shared this story with my orthodontist, because we then went in, I did go and get my tongue tie released, but part of that is myofunctional therapy, learning how to use my mouth, learning how to use my tongue, learning how to breathe, learning how to speak. So one of the main reasons I haven't been able to share for a while is I am relearning how to talk without choking on my own saliva and dying. But also, I would have to catch my breath, because I could only talk for 2 or 3 minutes, and I would get exhausted and have to feel like I'm catching up. So 3 years into the process, and I do mouth tape every night to keep my airway open so that I can breathe. And I cannot tell you how well that I sleep. And also, after I had my tongue tie released, my muscle knots in my shoulders are like non-existent, which is amazing. And then I use that in my wellness center, and just understand that if somebody has like their shoulders and their neck or fluid in their legs, it can be poor airway. And in the state that I live in, they don't really look at airways at the dentist. The next state over, they do. They practice what they call airway first. They fix your airway before they fix your teeth. And so I just love that. And And the reason I had done it, I don't know what, the reason I went to the naturopathic dentist is because he was also a licensed massage therapist, and he was certified in craniosacral work. So I'm like, I feel like he could understand me and work on me in a way that was gonna hopefully be different. And they handled the dental anxiety very well. They used a theta machine that they hook to your ears, and it entrains you and kind of forces your brain to relax. So that worked out really well. And we're kind of getting to the point in my process where I'm getting to have the braces taken off. I don't know if I'm going to go and do another scan to see how much airway would be back through here inside my neck. But I've definitely been on a sped up repairing process. In November, I tore my finger open, and had to kind of shift focus again. And going through that process has just been magical. And with every healing and process, even today, I'm having things from my childhood come up and go, okay, this is something that has to be addressed. Now, where did this lead us to with story? Back in my days when I modeled, I did a hair show, and they called it the story. So when they would work on a person, they would have 6 or 7 models, and they would talk about this story, the story of this hair, of this transformation. And today that came to me, and I'm like, wow, okay, yeah. And I've always told you guys to be truthful and honest, and to not be lying to yourself, because we are amazing, intelligent beings that get to live on God's green earth every day. And many times we're not telling the right story. We're not telling the true story. And only you know the story about your body, and only you can unravel it, and find the right people to help you unravel that, so that you don't continue to keep your trauma as your story, and you don't continue to keep mental illness as your story. You're not mentally ill. You have unprocessed trauma. And once you start to realize that you can heal from that, and when I say heal from that, I mean you can heal physical conditions, you can heal autoimmune disorders through finding the root cause, and then making sure you process it through the mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual fields. This physical body is just a detox vessel. And shortly I will be recording my webinar that I'm going to use for marketing. And part of my resistance is I have to start talking to you guys again. I have to start being on video, and no matter how uncomfortable it makes me. And one of the hardest things it was for me to do was to go back and listen to my videos, because I didn't like my story. I didn't understand my story. But we have to continue to find our story and figure out who we are, how we feel about that, and what we're drawn to do here. So all of us have purpose, all of us have meaning, and if you're not sleeping, find the problem. Don't wait 38 years to find out why you can't sleep. And it's nothing against my parents. I mean, they didn't know. I'll post my prom pictures when I find them, but you can tell from my posture that I was fighting to breathe. And I was an athlete, and I was like, man, I could have been even more of an athlete. I could have gone so much further if, God forbid, I could breathe a little bit. And I still deal with detoxing. A lot of the air has not been great to breathe, but just finding that process has been really magical. So I want you guys to empower yourself to find your story. Share your story. Comment below. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button if you can. I'm going to start recording on a more regular basis. I think I found a good angle where I can record in my backyard. And if you guys can hear my orange cardinal back there, he followed me around all morning on my jog. So find the joy. It really is an exciting time to be alive. So talk to you guys later. Thank you.